All right, guys, so let's talk about how I do audio post for my YouTube videos. All right, guys, so I actually had a request for this topic online. I think it was in one of my YouTube comments somewhere. So thank you so much to the person that requested this topic. I really appreciate it. And obviously I thought it was a good idea, so I made the video, or I'm making the video right now. Anyway, that's dumb. So the request was, what do you do after you worked with your audio in Pro Tools? And do you export and import it back into Premiere? Would like to know if you could do a video on that because that would be super helpful. So I think that was from YouTube commenter. I'm really sorry. I'm going to say this wrong. I hope I pronounce it halfway decently, but I apologize. Joseluis Mendoza. So thank you so much for requesting this video topic. All right, so for audio post, our starting point is once I've edited a video. So I just opened this video. It's my kind of recent, maybe probably not so recent at this point by the time this airs on YouTube. But this is the edited Premiere session of one of my recent videos on the hyperfollow function in DistroKid. So this is what it looks like, and basically I just highlight the whole thing. I hit a question mark, and then I hit Command M to export, and then I export my video. And what I do each time is I will rename this and do Final Video Needs Audio Post, and I write needs audio post so that I know that that's not I know that this is the final edit of the video, but it still needs some audio post work. So that's just how I remind myself of what it is and where it is in the process, and then I put it in the folder for that episode. So I'm gonna hit cancel here because I already did that, and it takes a while to actually render it out, so I don't want to make you guys watch that, and I don't want to sit here while that happens. So the only other thing that I do is I think I just match the settings. This is just my default. I'm not a video person, so maybe some of you video people out there can tell me what I could do to improve this system. But I think I pretty much have it match what came in terms of my screen capture and then my GoPro video, because those are usually the two sources that I have for my YouTube videos. So the only other thing I do is I uncheck the frame rate option, and usually the frame rate is higher than my Pro Tools system can handle. So I bring it down to 30, and then I hit export. So I'm going to hit cancel for now. So that's what that looks like. So that's the beginning of the stage. Let me quit Premiere really quick. So then what I have is something like this, right? I have a video. I can check it out, make sure I have everything that I wanted to have. So things like my Patreon, thank you, yada, yada, yada. You guys don't really need to know about that. But I just check that it's visually where I want it to be. And then what I do is I open up Pro Tools, and I will go File, Create New. And I'm just going to put this in my downloads folder for now because I don't want to confuse it with an existing session that was finished. But basically what I do here is I will go create from template, and then I just double check that this would work on this computer. This is my new computer, so I actually don't do my audio post on this new computer because I have the newest OS on here, or one of the newer OSs. So Pro Tools is great with that, but it's not great for video work for that OS. So when I'm doing post for my videos for YouTube or anything that involves video editing that's kind of quick and dirty, I will use my old laptop. I have done some video work with this laptop when it's a more complex mix or sound design, but it's just a little bit harder than to export the video. With the new OS, it doesn't want to let you bounce out a QuickTime. So usually that's fine, and I just send the people the audio, right? And with like some kind of sync marker, right? Like a 2-beep. But basically with my YouTube videos, it's such a quick job that I tend to just open up my old laptop to do it. I don't know if you guys really care about that, but I go to post-production, and I have this template saved here. This version of the template I created in April. So I'm pretty frequently updating this. I change as my taste changes and my ears change, and I get hopefully better at hearing things. So what I then do is highlight this beginning part, and I go episode, what's this episode? 144. So I'll put the episode number. I make sure I selected that template. 48 kilohertz is great for film. My YouTube videos don't need to be overkill. It's not like I'm mixing music for people. I'm just conveying information to you guys. I check off interleave because that's my personal preference. And then I go and I pick the location. So usually I then pick the location here. I'm just going to pick the downloads for now, but usually what I do is I'll pick the folder for that episode and I'll put it within that folder. So I'm just going to hit create. I hit OK. So basically what I do when I edit in Premiere is I leave out the end slate and the intro slate audio, and that's for various reasons. That's just kind of how I've made it. So what I'm doing here is I have, this is my track where my audio from my actual video is going to eventually be. And then this is my master fader. So usually what I do is I'll then go file and then I'll go import video. All right, so I had to do a quick workaround because of this OS version. So I went back into Premiere and I exported only the audio and imported it here. So now it looks like it would normally look like if I were importing a video in with a system that works well with video. So again, you know, normally I'd be using my old laptop to do this, but you know, my old laptop can't handle doing screen captures, so here we are. So anyway, usually what I do is it creates this audio track for my audio file. So what I'll then do is I will click on it with my grabber. So I hover towards the bottom part of the clip, and then I click, and that will select the whole clip, and only that clip, right? And so what I then do is do Command-C, and then I hit the semicolon on my keyboard. And so that's part of that shortcut within Pro Tools that's a bunch of arrows, right? So we have the P and the semicolon. I think I mentioned this in another video. And it'll help you move around in your session without changing the highlighted region, right? So I just hit the semicolon, and then I hit Command-V to paste. And then I hit P, and then I hit delete. And so what that's done is it's taken my audio off of this track that was created, like auto-created when I imported, and it puts it on my track that's part of the template. So I can then delete this track. And so then usually the next thing I do is I will go up to, if you notice over here on my video track, my frames per second is red. So that's like not compatible. It's not that it's not compatible. It's in the wrong format for the session. So what I do here is I go setup, session, and I just want to match that number, right? So it's 30 frames per second. And this is something that I should really just update with my template, but here we are. This is what I do sometimes. So I make it 30. I make sure that turns white, so that's all good, right? So now my video is all good. And then I hit return to go to the beginning of my session. I'll zoom in, I'll add a little fade just so I don't get a speaker pop. I'll also do that right here where my intro reel is. And I'll hit delete and add little fades. These don't matter so much, but this is what I do. And then this is my intro audio. I just created it using Nexus. Oh shoot, we'll pretend that's not there. I just created it using Nexus, so I'm just gonna close that out. It's just a quick little composition that I made. And what I do is I drag this until I see, if you see the C is starting to be animated there, I go until you can't see it. So right there. So that's the intro slate, and then I'll click on the end slate audio track, and then I hit tab to find that actual audio, because this is just audio from one of my first videos. I could probably update this, but you know. Here we are, seems to be the theme of this video. So, you know, I can do, usually I'll zoom out to go faster. Okay, and so then what I do is I find the spot in the video where I broke before I started doing my outtakes. So depending on the outtakes, this is gonna be a different length of time, but usually you can actually visually see it right here. And then I'll just zoom in and I do the same thing. I line up the beginning of this audio, and usually there's kind of a delay here between what displays on here and where I am. And I just line up this audio with right before the C starts. And I might do the same type of thing here where I delete and add fades. The effect from that is not significant. And then I'll add a little fade at the end. And then what I do is I listen and I check. So I'll hit play. Hey guys, so I'm back on DistroKids. And then I hit play, function. And I'll listen to each of these edit points, right? I'm not going to do it all right now, but I do check it. And then what I do is I will look around in this audio from the session, and I'll look for like the peaks, like the largest peaks, and I'll kind of check those with each of these plugins. So this is just something that I made here. So I cut the ends here. This is below where my voice tends to hit. So if there are any sounds that were in my environment while I was recording, that'll kind of cut it out. And then it's kind of same idea here. This kind of just removes some of that hiss in the upper frequencies. Not a huge impact here. But I then also have a little bit of refinement, just a tiny bit here, just to cut some of those harsh frequencies a little bit more, make it sound a little smoother and easier to listen to, a little less fatiguing to listen to. And then I have this here as well. I made this so long ago, but I'm just doing really basic stuff here to my track, because this is what I tend to do every single time. The thing that I really look at whenever I do post here is my actual compressor. So I will play through the audio. I'll watch where it's hitting with the compressor. I'll make sure it's not clipping. I'll make sure it's not clipping before or after the compressor, right? And then usually what I do is I bring this up a good amount. So I'll just do that really quick. More than just that. So you can find your Hyperfollow link on your DistroKid album page. It's super easy to find, and DistroKid actually automatically creates these Hyperfollow landing pages for you. So that was a clip, I believe, so I would bring that down normally. Spotify before it even releases. And it's not only that, but you can also get so in that instance, I might shift the ratio up a little bit. Since this is just spoken word, there's a lot of leeway with the ratio. If I do have Pro Tools in a video, which I don't have on this one, I will have that separated out onto another track, and then I leave that as is. So I think pretty much every time that I've done a video, that's what I've done if there's Pro Tools audio playing back. So just so you know, that would just be an empty track here with no effects on it. But I do have the master fader effects on it a little bit. So everything that you guys hear is a little bit limited, just a tiny bit. But that's basically what I'll do is I will set this, and it's usually somewhere between 4 and 8. And it's not only that, but you can that I raise the output. And then other than that, I'll tweak the ratio and the threshold a little bit, but not a ton. And then my ratio is usually around here, sometimes a little above 4:1. There is more leeway since it is spoken word. And that's about it. I will adjust the threshold sometimes a little bit, but it does depend on the audio that's coming in. And my attack value is pretty short. My release value is pretty average. But that's basically that. I will adjust that compressor so that things are hitting like at a decent level. You know, the goal is to kind of bring it up to the standard, right? So then what I do is, now that everything's lined up and I have this at a decent level and I have it sounding pretty decent, hopefully, I have any Pro Tools audio separated out onto a track that's not being processed, I will then look at the limiters, and sometimes I'll adjust them, usually not though. I have pretty simple limiting, not a ton being put on here. I have my fab filter set to transparent. You know, the goal is to kind of just even out those levels a little bit more and make it a little more like standard, right? So then usually while I am tweaking these limiters, I almost never bring this past like 2.2 or 3. Usually I just want it to be really subtle. I just, you know, I'm not trying to blow out anyone's ears when they switch from another YouTube video that's not done by an audio engineer. So I just do it really subtle stuff here. But then I'll check and make sure that it's hitting up around here-ish, at least for the, you know, the louder parts of when I'm speaking, the parts where I'm talking. So that's about it. That's how I do my audio posts. Then I just bounce out the QuickTime, and then that is my final video that I upload onto YouTube. So I hope that answers your questions for how I do audio post for my YouTubes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all that stuff. And thank you again for the video topic suggestion to that YouTube user. I really appreciate it. So And, you know, if you want access to additional content, please feel free to check out my Patreon. So that's patreon.com/Cato Noise. And I come out with new videos every Wednesday. And thank you for watching. Okay. Hit the notification bell. I'd appreciate all those things. I think I just said that. I'm not sure if I just said that. Anyway, but I'll just kind of check that out and get it to where it sounds okay and nothing's clipping. Oh, damn it. And fucking ball sacks. My computer is being a butt right now. So that's my story. I'm going to go hide. All right. Well, I have a meeting in a few minutes, so I'm going to run away.